And my wife, she was born to make laddus. I swear. अरे मैं तारीफ कर रहा हूँ बाबा, तुम लड्डू बनाने के लिए पैदा हुई हो.
Yeah, that my wife was born to make laddus. He doesn't think it's condescending. He's saying it proudly, which is what is interesting. He thinks, wow, she was born to means this is like born to be a musician. If you said born to be a musician, you take it differently.
So we're asking Gauri Shinde about the two boys, the two main guys in English Vinglish. Let's talk about Satish first.
Okay.
He looks at Shashi as someone who fulfills a role in the kitchen and the bedroom. His compliments also are a little condescending, like she was born to make laddus. And at the same time, he's also not a complete idiot. He's happy to send her to the US. He's confident that she'll be fine. And there's a discomfort here, but you've not backed away from it. You're like,
in the speech, you mean?
No, in this entire, the dynamic between the two of them. You just let it be. There's no real redeeming quality with Satish.
I think my own experience with my dad was the complete opposite. I love and respect him to death. And he was actually very supportive of my mom. Yeah. And I was like, oh my God, if they think this is my mom, do they think this is my dad? And, and it wouldn't make for a great story if I had to just put two nice people. I mean, people out there who are like...
but he is grey. He is...
and yet... and of course we know men like this. I mean... in our families, in our friends, and they exist all over. And yet I, again, like I said, sympathize, defend my characters, but I think just empathize with him on a very human level. He doesn't know better. He's just probably, that's how he saw his dad behave. That's what he's seeing his contemporaries do. And that's what he's doing. And yes, it's cruel, it's hurtful, it's condescending, all of that. I mean, there's no question. My wife was born to make laddus. He doesn't think it's condescending. He's saying it proudly, which is what is interesting. He thinks, wow, she was born to means this is like born to be a musician. If you said born to be a musician, you take it differently. So it's also her, I mean, our perception of what laddu making is. So it's actually also a mirror to ourselves, how we look at someone. Oh, that's just a small time thing.
Okay, got it.
That's not
fantastic.
Entrepreneurial in that sense. I mean, that, a bigger deal. So it's a mix of that. It's actually him being proud, which rarely has been understood. Because he's saying it. I mean, that's that one moment, in fact, he's not being condescending. He thinks he's proud. Because if he had to be condescending, he wouldn't make a fool of himself in front of like a large group of people, white to-be son-in-law, etc., etc.
My question is, if the roles were flipped over and Satish was learning English and he'd gotten hit on by a hot French chick.
What?
Yes,
What's the question?
What would happen, Gauri? Would he behave with as much restraint?
I always feel it's never a very black and white response to these things. If we just have to go in the stereotypical way of this is how men are, they can't control their whatever.
Yeah, no, it's
or
not
just da-da-da, that's one biology at one end. Secondly, how prone to infidelity are they?
Yeah.
And where opportunity arises, but yet they'd go back to their wife. All that would still exist. Yeah. So in that sense, I would say, of course, he would. He would not show restraint.
And it's also because of the way we're conditioned to respond to validation.
Right.
One with great abandon and one with a lot of suspicion. With Laurent, he's like such a gentle guy and so lost. There is a part of you that wonders if he's fallen in love with Shashi because he's also quite lonely. He comes across as a very lonely guy. And he falls in love with her because he can sense some sort of strength in her. What sort of a guy would he be 5 years after he met her? Like, would he still fall in love with her if he met her 5 years later?
I think so. I think he seriously, quite seriously fell in love with her. Because, there's no because you see that
with who she is. He
with
sees who she is.
Yes, and it's someone like her he wouldn't have ever met in his lifetime. So it's also the novelty of someone like her. Oh my God, this woman with a family, children, and there's so much of her that can be so fascinating for someone who's never had an experience of a human being like this. And at sometimes there's no logic even, to a relationship like this. When you just meet, there's a spark and you feel some sort of connection. Actually, there's
Yeah.
a connection through what they're doing. It's not just the classes that they're going to, but food and all of that. And he would have probably dreamt of having a restaurant with her.
Yeah.
He speaks about it.
Yeah.
Maybe one day. French Indian restaurant.
French.
And I would imagine, I mean, even if he has met somebody French, Italian, or whatever in his life, I think he'll always have a special corner for Shashi. I would imagine that.
So DMs on Instagram in 5 years then. From him.
If she's there, for sure. I think at least
If
there
she
would be
has an account.
philosophical quotes on food and art and some such for sure. Because he knows he can't directly do the
Song lyrics.
thing. Yeah. Bollywood dance perhaps, like Jig. I don't know.
Okay, then we can hope. All right. Thanks so much.
Thank you. It was fun.
Yeah.